That'll start that. All right, so we are recording. Great. All right, so we got a good one for y'all today. I'm excited, and I think it's been about 2 weeks since you guys have since I've done another episode. So I apologize. I'm gonna make them more consistent. But I just have to make sure that I have the right guests. I can't just throw anybody on here, and that even speaks towards the person that I have today. So good evening, good morning, good afternoon, whatever time that you are watching right now. My name is Elam B King, and this is the Understanding Man podcast, where we bring some topics to you, probably from a man's perspective. All right, and just giving us some tools, because don't nobody want to give us the tools, so we got to go. Men, we got to go out here and get them, and I'm just trying to be the small conduit that can bring that to you. Just coming off of obviously June, which is men's mental health month, the Juneteenth month. I have my Juneteenth on light bulb today for those of y'all that can see it. Okay, hold on, let me point that down. Y'all see that? Well, I have my Juneteenth one on. Yeah. Shout out to my cousin Sean that made that. Thought it was super dope. Yeah. So, want to dive right in today. Just kind of talking about mental health and just I have an amazing guest on today. I want to reference back and kind of segue that into what we're talking about tonight. We're talking with James Bush probably about 2 weeks ago on our previous podcast about you know the expectations inside of relationships. For what's for men, of course, men know what we have to do for women, but what was it for excuse me, but what was the expectation of women for men? So if you didn't get a chance to listen to that episode, go back and listen to it. Definitely some information. But as we kind of transition into this space for tonight's conversation, I want to start off by introducing this person before we dive in too deep and talk about some. Let's see here, some healing for the men here. Okay, I was trying to figure out my words just then. So some healing for the men. But I want to introduce this person. I had a chance of working alongside her for an event that she had back in November on the King's Retreat. She had us in Way Bumba of Georgia, northern Georgia, but it was amazing. It's a little heartbeat as we were driving up there, but it was dope when I got there. Went to actually speak at the event and got spoken to. Made some great connections, great relationships. And I really love what this person is doing with just connecting men from a networking perspective. And then she also works with men in certain capacity, but I'll let her speak about that. But this is somebody from a go-to perspective that when they say that if you are in the counseling space, in the coaching space, in the mentoring space, and you don't have, a mentor, a coach, or go-to people, other counselors that you have to go to, that's somebody that you might not want to deal with, because I don't have all the answers, and sometimes there's individuals that I have to go to, and this is one of those individuals. So I'm gonna get out the way and have her introduce herself, and then we'll kind of dive on in. So, like to introduce some and present to others, Miss Qiana Howell. Um, she is. Well, I'll let her go into what she is. Okay. So, what's up, Qiana?
Hi, how are you?
All right. Good. Good. Good.
What's up, fam? So I am a therapist. I am an author and a public speaker, and that's just a few of my roles or veins of function that I
Right. Right.
operate.
Right.
Of course, I'm super mom as well, entrepreneur, and so I do focus on primarily working with men in a space of therapy and life coaching, mainly therapy though. And yes, I am also feel like I'm purposed and tasked to cultivate a community of men who really focus on prioritizing mental and emotional well-being, accountability, and networking. So
Right.
that's the
And we got up last week. I no no not
yes,
really, like 2 weeks ago. It was like 2 weeks ago when we were at over at Atlantic Station. It was
yes,
about 15 of us. Thought it was amazing.
right.
You put that together. What is that? Talk to me a little bit about what I mean. I'm humbly a part of it as well, but what you're working to do there.
So last month's event was just kind of like the social kickoff to grow and expand the community of men, starting with the Atlanta metro area, so that men can feel safe to get together. Because again, when we were at the retreat,
Hmm.
a lot of the guys there were able to realize that they related more in their life situations than they initially assumed.
Right.
And so, a lot everybody came from different backgrounds, different spaces, and then
Right.
still realized a lot of common
Uh.
challenges and experiences. And
Right.
so for me, I want to, the vision is to continue to gather those groups so that men can feel like they're not alone in their respective situations,
Mm.
because that tends to be an issue as far as isolation in mind, and then eventually isolation physically, because you're thought that I'm the only one that's dealing with this. Nobody really can relate
Right.
or even help me navigate through this. So I just got to deal with it on my own.
I'm about to jump out of my skin already as you go into that topic because that's so critical.
Mhm.
And even when you had the retreat back
Right,
in November, and we were just sitting at the table, and you saw like 3 4 hours later, we guys that didn't even know
right,
each other,
right,
all
right.
walks of life. 3 hours later, we were like, and this is first we, first Marvin kicked it off. He really kind of
Yes,
set it off. Shout out to Marvin
yes,
Cotton. He will be
yes.
a representative in is it
Detroit,
Detroit?
Detroit,
Detroit.
Michigan.
So
Yes,
I'm in Atlanta, but I know
yes,
you got your peoples from Detroit. So make sure you tell your
yes,
peoples. I know they already know to vote for Marvin, right?
yes.
But not only him, I mean, and his story just set it off, and then we
Right,
all just started talking. And I think that, and I want to transition into this piece because I had to learn to grow in that area too.
right,
Grew up with, my dad and four brothers. Well, it's really five brothers that I have, so it's six of us. But four of us grew up together, and
right.
then there, only female in the house was my mom. So there was
Mhm.
no crying, there was no sensitivity. We got the back of the day old school whoopings.
Right,
You
right.
better not, you bet not cry. Or I'm gonna give you something to cry for. You know what
Right,
I'm saying? And the emotions and things of that nature, and coming forward into life. And I love my parents, but there was this one space that I think all baby boomer parents kind of, and they only did what they were told, right?
right.
But the
Exactly.
shaping and molding of men and the raising of us, that same thing that built us to be tough. When we have things that hurt our heart, when we have things that we're walking through, when we have trauma, we don't know what to do. And if we don't
Right,
even know what to do, then here's the thing: we don't even know that we're inside of something. And
right,
then even if we're trying to come out of it, then we don't even know how to heal. So like we don't know that we're going into it, that we're in the middle of it, or that we're coming out of it, and that we need to seek guidance from individuals like yourself. So talk to me about what do you see as the importance for men to heal and just the process of that. What do you experience with the clients that you work with?
Of course, just feeling safe enough to be open and vulnerable.
Mm,
Because of course, like you said, men are taught from childhood to suppress their emotions, not to openly express them. And so, even if they endure, one of the things I see very commonly is men who endure loss and death, right?
okay.
Whether it's a parent, a sibling, a child, and then they'll say, I didn't even cry. I'm hurting. I miss my
Yes,
loved one
ma'am. We
dearly,
sure will
but
say
I
that.
didn't cry because I just felt like I had to maintain the strong face through the
Right.
process. And then if
Like a
you're the
badge of honor. We really
right,
wear it as.
right, the thing is, suppressing that grief, suppressing that pain is going to unfortunately come out in unhealthy
Hmm.
ways, which usually leads to drinking
Hmm.
that can become excessive, in a level of dependency on drinking,
Hmm.
sometimes segue into other substance
Right.
use, um, unhealthy sexual behaviors and patterns,
Mm,
because now you're trying to just release in other ways, like, okay, let
right.
me just be out there and just wilding out.
Right.
Or some people will draw completely in and completely isolate themselves from everyone and just kind of
Mm,
close off and shut down mentally, emotionally. Anger is definitely a huge
right.
indicator of depression. I always tell people
Mm,
anger is a natural and healthy emotion, but it's usually the surface emotion that is being fueled by underlining and root emotions that are fueling that. And
right.
depression, sadness, frustration, stress, anxiety.
Sleeping.
Yeah, all of those things actually fuel anger. So when you find someone that tends to lash out a lot, one of the things
Okay.
I hear from a lot of men, they'll come to me and they'll say, "Well, my family or my girlfriend or whatever, people were starting to criticize me, like you're always angry, you're always lashing, like something's wrong with
Mm.
you," and it is probably something wrong with them, but it's the wrong. What's wrong with them is them suppressing the issues that they feel like they're not permitted to really experience
Oh my
emotion.
gosh.
They're not able to be vulnerable and share how they really are feeling.
Mm.
Because again, even when men try to be vulnerable, even to their intimate partners, they're often told to to toughen up.
Mm.
Um, they're strong, they can get over it, they need to man up.
Mm.
And so, it's now getting to the space where we're having to really encourage men to normalize um expressing emotions, but without encouraging femininity.
Right. Right.
Because that's a big thing now, you
And
know,
and let
in
me
our
just say,
society.
let me say this really quickly, and this is when I talk to my single moms, and I'm just like, you have to understand that even though men, we were already out here doing this the same way that our baby boomer parents had pushed down that toughen up, but the
Right.
women are right in there too, right?
Yeah.
Like they're like, stop being so sensitive, right? So
Mhm.
now when you get now you got this man that grew up this way, and now he's trying to navigate through his feelings, and again that anger comes out because it's like I've been told that I don't matter, and I feel like it, and then here you're the only person that I'm giving myself to. I'm trying to navigate through these feelings, and then you're calling me sensitive, or you're
Right.
saying, stop acting like a bee. You know what I'm saying? Like these are things that women really say.
Yeah, I
Meanwhile,
know.
you want him to the
Right.
irony, you want him
Right.
to communicate. But you're
Yes.
gonna call him a bitch, or you're gonna call him, what I'm saying, tell him that he's sensitive or whatever. And it's kind of like you're actually working against yourself and you don't even realize that.
Right. Right. And that's the thing that don't I don't just focus on working with men and encouraging men to be in that safe space to heal, but I'm also trying to educate women. Like, how do
Mm.
you actually really connect with a male counterpart, whether it's your friend, your lover, your relative, your child?
Non-sexually.
Right. Like, how do you connect with other male counterparts that you
Hmm.
can know and say it's okay to be sad,
Uh-oh, I
it's
had a little
okay
fruit
to
fly. Hold
hurt,
on. Hold
yeah,
on.
it's okay to grieve.
A fruit fly, I hate them. Okay. And did you see my moment? It just attacked my nose. I hate the fruit fly. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm gonna edit that out. I might keep it. Go ahead.
So let me just repeat
Yeah, I know,
what I
right?
said. Yeah, I mean, um, just being able to encourage them to be human, right? And
Right,
understanding that they hurt too. I've
right,
seen couples who they may have lost a child, but for some reason, all the attention is on the woman, and oh, she lost her child. Well, that was his child too.
right, right,
He's feeling the loss and the pain of that loss just as much as mom.
right.
And so we have to be able to normalize, again, men being able to feel,
Hmm.
be human. But again, no, we're not trying to feminize them. We're not trying to make
Damn, I
them
missed him.
more more feminine. But at the same time, we are trying to, and Elam is just cutting up over here.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna edit it out.
I don't
He
even know
won't
what
see now. He
he's
messing with me now. We're watching this live. This fly
saying.
really messing with me. I'm gonna get him too. But this is a
So
good topic. But keep going. But I'm gonna just hit
yes.
mute because I'm gonna kill him.
So, at that point, it's just being able to give men that safe space to know that it's okay to have life experiences just like in any of the rest of us that are permitted to do so. So,
Yeah, and I think that that is key. That a lot of times it is, the sensitivity normally automatically inside of some of those spaces, and it's to say you have a husband and a wife, and so everybody's like,
right.
oh, is your wife okay? And you're going down that space. You're like, hey, I
Yeah.
sad too.
Yeah.
I'm sad.
Exactly.
I'm hurting. You know.
Hmm.
Honestly, I experienced that when even when my daughter was sick about 2 years ago. When people would come to ask, they would ask about Morgan and her mother.
Hmm.
It was like. I'm taking her to the appointments. I know I'm dad. I know that it doesn't look like
Right,
we do that, but
right,
Monday
right.
through Friday, I'm dealing with this for 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
Watching your child get force fed, and a lot of it sometimes was because mom couldn't take it. Because you have to watch somebody force feed your child, for a few hours a day. That's not mentally like, and knowing that this is helping her, but watching her cry and move her head and whatever, and I had to absorb that, and I found myself, I didn't, I fortunately I had a counselor to go
Mhm.
to, but somebody proactively asking me how I'm doing, like that wasn't happening.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It wasn't happening. So it's like, Elam, get through it. And hey, how's the mom? It's like,
Right.
okay. And
And
that, and we do.
I recently seen two situations where a wife lost her husband,
Mhm,
and I mean everybody and their mama surrounded her, the whole church,
mhm.
co-workers, everybody. And then I have another gentleman who just lost his wife, and you got a few people checking on him, but he's not getting the same support and surrounding of love and food and checkups and all of that. Like he's not getting
But
that same attention. And it's like he lost his wife. That was his wife. I
right,
mean, you know what I
right.
mean? So it's like it's no different. They both lost spouses. You don't get to say because she's a female and he's a male that the pain and the loss is any less greater.
So let me say this, okay? Because I'm a words of affirmation, love language person, right?
Mhm.
So when we're talking about emotions and we're talking about sensitivity and we're talking about just a man having a feeling, right? It was said to me in the past that and then I hear one or two things. It was said to me in the past that, oh well, regarding affirmations of men needing to be affirmed as well, right?
Right, right,
Um, Something that's important to me. And when as it was communicated, it was received more in um you it's as if I'm too much, right? The fact that I have to be affirmed, it's too much. I'm too much. Okay. And then it
mhm,
goes to you got to hear this every single day, and I don't know whether and so it was more of like as if I need, as if what I'm requesting of being affirmed is whether it's it, and that's a broad scope. It doesn't
right,
have to be, oh, you look
right,
good every day, right?
right,
So that was, but then at the same time understanding that men are taught that gotta compliment a woman every day. You know what I'm saying?
right.
I mean, you should, that we like as many times, like you can't compliment Kiana too much, can't,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, right,
I'm
right.
taught that I got to do that, right? But
Mhm.
on my end, it was, and it made me say, well, dang. And I found myself at that time, and this is, some years back, I found myself saying, well, maybe I am too much. Maybe I need to suppress this feeling. And now I know that that's not something that should be done or can be done because your love language doesn't just pack up and go away,
Right.
whatever it is. So do you find that some men feel weird or guilty because they're feeling something, because they want to be affirmed in certain areas, but they feel like they're a punk or something like that? Like, what are you hearing?
So a lot of that first stems from the fact that everybody doesn't understand the concept of the love language.
Hmm.
So some people don't really even realize those desires, those innate desires to want to be affirmed. They don't know that that's a love language. That is just
Right,
part of their makeup, and that's
right.
what they look for. That's what they're going to always desire, right? Once you do become familiar with love languages, one of the things I see is that most commonly, any male that I've had take the test, most men, words of affirmations is either number one or number two.
Really?
Yeah.
What's the other one?
It's the other one goes between physical touch or acts of service.
I was gonna say it,
Yeah,
but I'm finding a
those
lot of
two
quality time.
go
I'm
hand in hand.
mhm.
Yeah,
I'm
it
finding a lot of quality time with my clients. I mean, like
right,
more than I'm just like, oh wow, really? So I'm starting to see that more too. But you are right. I
right.
find words and I
Physical
almost got him. I'm on a mission. You know how like you just be doing that. You can't even have a banana in the summer, right? because they just want to freaking fruit fly themselves away. Okay, but you find,
I'm
sorry, totally random. The battle of this fruit fly. What we're gonna do is we're gonna tackle the healing that men need to walk through, and this fruit fly tonight. We're gonna master both of those. But
right.
I'm sorry, but go ahead. What were you saying? That's normally what you see a lot with the
That's
guys.
normal. So here's the issue, because I'm actually reading a new edition of the love language book, right? Where it's
Oh, okay.
talking about the challenges that people have to actually operate in their love languages with
Ooh, I
their
want to
mate.
read that.
Because a lot of people will take the test, learn what each other's love languages are, but are still heavily challenged with how do I actually love my mate according to their love language and still receive
My
my
love
love
language. Yep.
language in return. And
Mm,
so it does take work, it is efforts. One of the things though, like you said, for men, it's not that you guys have to hear, oh, you're so cute, you're so handsome, but sometimes it's babe, I really appreciate you taking out the
hmm
trash earlier, or you cleaning out those gutters, and just doing
But
certain
that's
things.
what you're supposed to do.
But the reality is, it's okay to be grateful to someone to do it, because the reality is, yeah, in your mind, you may think that's what they're supposed to do, but the reality is, they really don't have to if they don't want to. I mean,
Obviously I
we're
was being
grown up.
facetious.
You
Obviously I was being
right?
facetious
No,
when
I
I
know
said
what
that.
you're saying, because, but I'm validating that, because the reality is, I really don't have to do these things, right? I
Right.
don't have to cook.
Right.
So you thanking me for cooking a meal today, or telling me
Right.
that it was good,
I think that's a great analogy.
because at the end of the day, I really don't have to cook. I don't have to cook anything. You could just go get yourself something to eat, or go
Hmm.
out, or whatever. And so, as a woman, I want to be appreciated for those efforts. So it goes the same way. I have a friend. We were talking earlier. We were doing, like, I guess he was kind of like my little spiritual confidant today. But he talked
Okay.
about the power of words. He absolutely adores his wife,
Hmm.
but he talked about how just the way she speaks to him motivates him to want to
Mm,
continue to be the
I know
best
that's
husband.
right.
And he said it's sometimes it's just the choice of words. So he was telling me about choosing a different word for a particular statement, right? He was like, because
Hmm.
men will respond more to this than that. He was like, for his wife, she was saying, when you get a chance, you can you take the trash out? He was like, in my head, I already know she means take it out right now.
Right now.
Well, because she didn't talk to me that way and say, you need to take
Mm.
the trash out, or can you do this right now? Because she wasn't demanding, but she was more kind and strategic in her approach. He was like, let me do it now.
I gotta say something, because see, this is a friend that's so key, because my friend Brian Clark, he actually said, ironically, and he called right before this podcast. So you went down the street of something that he talked about in my first book,
Right,
when he was talking about just the communication pieces and how his wife sets the relationship up to win, right?
right,
To whereas she gives a task and he doesn't do it, she'll
right.
follow up. If he
Yes,
still doesn't do it, what she does, she utilizes his ego, to further it without
yes,
tapping it, right?
right,
So
right,
this is the grace that some women have, that whereas, like you said in that comment, the person would be like, "Can you take the trash out now?" Versus she said, it was something as simple. The analogy he was talking about, cleaning the rug, and so he works from home. So she was like, call the Stanley Steamer people, and it was like Monday, and she was like, "Okay, call Stanley Steamer." He was like, "No." Okay, Tuesday was like, "Call Stanley Steamer people." No. And she was just like, "Okay." After that time, she said, "Check this out." She said, "Okay, no problem. If you haven't, if you haven't contacted them by Thursday, I'm gonna contact them and take care of it." Every man knows what that just meant.
right, exactly.
Without saying it,
Yes,
you're like, "Oh, hell no, you ain't gonna
right.
call these people before me." And then it's kind of like, and not being sarcastic, like, "You don't do it about that, I'm just gonna do it." It's like, okay, cool. You're busy, shade, right? So
Right.
you're busy, shade, all right? Y'all still gonna throw a little shade in
Oh,
there,
yeah, but we can
right?
do it nice. We can be
But
nice
she did like,
about
"Okay, yes, you're
it.
busy." So yes, if you have not done this by Thursday, honey, Okay.
Yes.
Now all this is daggers, but they're actually ones that you're like, I can hold that, right?
Right.
I can hold
Right.
that, right? I got a responsibility. She gave me a task. I didn't do it. She gonna do it if I don't do it. So I know I gotta. Yo, the next morning you're like, hello, yeah,
Let me
Stanley
yeah.
Steamer, yeah, I need y'all out here like tomorrow, like for real.
Mhm.
I don't. So I loved and how he said that she tries to set the relationship up to win, not just get something done or
Right.
and and I was thinking about this today and this I want to throw this to you and just see whether you hear women saying this. Sometimes women just like, that some women, right? I was like, he's just being so too sensitive. I'm very direct in my approach. They use the word direct,
Right. Right. Right.
as if like because I'm speaking this way, you can't handle it. And I think that it's a
Right.
pass for being rude, right?
Right.
You direct, you're rude. You're directly rude, is what you are, right?
Right.
You think you're saying what you have to say, but you're really being rude. And I'm your teammate. Why would you want to talk to me without that level of femininity, without
Right.
that level of sensitivity? So I'm sorry. I just think that
No,
what.
I mean, when he's, I like that he says she sets the marriage up to win, right? To me, when I think of that, I think of that's a woman with wisdom, right?
Right.
And biblically, it says in Proverbs 14:1, the
Mm,
wise woman builds her home, and the foolish,
Come
the
on. That
foolish
last part.
puts it down with her hands.
I'm sorry.
Here's
I was speaking while you were saying the word. I want to be quiet, and I would like for you to repeat that. What did God
the
say?
the wise woman
Mm,
builds her house,
builds a house.
right? Because
Hmm.
here's what we as women a lot of
Oh
times,
no, you weren't gonna say the other part. Okay, go on, break it down,
well,
Pastor. Go ahead. Go ahead. No, no, no,
but
no, 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 no.
the
Break. No,
foolish,
you was in it.
yeah.
In it. Go ahead.
But here's the thing that I do have to, I sometimes struggle with in discussions with women about um making sure you take care of home, particularly your man.
Mm.
Because the reality is, if you don't cater to his needs, not just physically and sexually, right, but also mentally, emotionally, he's going to want to stray away.
Can I
And
just?
we get mad and be like, they don't give him right to cheat. They don't give him right. But the reality is, even in the Bible, it does say if you don't take care of your boo,
I be
you're
trying to
opening
tell
up
him.
the door. You're opening up the door to allow things that are not good and healthy for your marriage to come in. Because here's the reality, even God knew
Mm,
that we're human
mm,
and then we have needs,
mm.
and those needs are to be met in the covenant of your marriage. And if you
And
don't meet them,
and so let me be very clear here. Okay, I know we're not promoting anything from a promiscuity and infidelity
right,
perspective,
not at all.
not doing that, but we need to
Right.
understand that the second part of that verse is
A
what's the
foolish
second?
woman tears down her house, right?
I mean, so here's the thing. It does not mean taking care of your home, in my opinion, because when they
Right.
say take care of home, people mostly thinking sexually, right? Just like when you say
Right.
the word intimacy, they're thinking being intimate is physical. No,
No.
your man has emotional intimacy that he
Right.
needs with you, experiential intimacy,
Yes.
spiritual intimacy,
Right.
intellectual intimacy. There's actually 5 different intimacies, and I talk about that in my pre-marriage course. Alongside of what you were saying earlier of with the love
Right.
language, it's not just important to just know what the love language is, but how is it applicable to you as an
Right.
individual, and
Right.
does that person qualify? Because sometimes we have some women that are here, I want to say this out loud. We have some women that are amazing women.
Right.
We have some men that are amazing men. But and what was that phrase that you said? Just because you're a good person doesn't mean that you're the good person for me. What did you say? Because I got
So just
what did you?
because you're a good person doesn't mean you're my person.
Oh my goodness. It's so that's serious, right? Just because
Right.
you're a good person, lady, you
Right.
might not be a good person for him because his love language is here and you're not trying to meet that, right?
Right.
Or his
Exactly.
the level of what he might need in affirmations, whatever it is, acts of service, whatever, right?
Right.
The level of intimacy you might want to receive more than give. So you're a good person, you're just not a good person for that person. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So um I think that that phrase is so key,
Yeah.
and just understanding that there is keeping home is way more than physical, ladies.
Right.
It's way more than physical. Like we don't even require you cooking. So we took one out that used to be in there.
Right,
We took
right,
cooking out. So do we want you to cook? Yeah, but us coming up, yo, we're like, yo, I got the kitchen. If you can
right,
hit these other buckets, I got this kitchen. Right. So
right.
it's kind of like that's not even a requirement. That's what James and I were talking about what's the real requirement of women, because you have what I see, and I want to share this. I know I don't want to go over too much, but what I see more of, and help me understand this, I see more of women pulling back from the things that they used to do,
Mhm.
right? And with the same expectation that no, they still want the conservative, the old, pay the bills, take care of it. They want the man to be the old school while
Right.
they are the new school. And the
Exactly.
new school says, and I've had this, Qiana, I've had a woman say this to me. The new school is kind of like, what, you got expectations? No, 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 no. You're supposed to be here for me. And when I feel like it, I can be there for you. And I've had a woman say this to me, educated woman. I love her, won't say who she is. She's married, family going on, all that good stuff. She said, Elam, I don't ever want you to talk to my husband. She said, I'm so glad you're not friends with him. And I hope he never follows you. She said, because if he starts talking to you, he's going to have
Right.
expectations. And I
Yeah.
got him right where I want him.
Yeah. And I
And
just,
I was like, yo, you said that out loud?
yeah.
What?
But
But she's
here,
not the only one that thinks that.
no. And that goes back round to, again, men's emotional needs not being met. Right. Because when a woman has that mindset, she doesn't really care about his feelings. So
Mm,
she doesn't care if he's hurting. She doesn't care if he's
mm,
struggling. She
mm,
doesn't care if he's um in a transitional space in his life and he just
mm,
doesn't really know what to do. She doesn't care if he struggles with depression, which could
mhm,
be genetic for him,
mhm,
right? She doesn't care that he suffers from anxiety. She doesn't
mhm,
care about all those things. She just feels like you going through life, this is what life does, and you just need to man up and get through it.
mhm.
But women don't realize, if we are with a man who realize he cannot be connected to us mentally, emotionally, and even spiritually,
Right,
he's going to pull away. He's going to
right.
draw away from you. He'll
Mhm,
be there physically present, but he won't be present with you in that space.
mm,
Then you're like, oh, I can't connect with him. He don't seem like he's present within a relationship.
mm.
Oh, but the reality is you have to ask yourself sometimes, why is that? Because a lot of times when we are in the dating phase, that's
Okay.
when we're finding it easy to talk to the person. Oh, I love them because it's so easy. We can talk all day. We can talk on the phone
Right,
all night
right,
about
right, right,
everything.
right.
And then somehow he's emotionally violated, right? You throw something in his face, you criticize him for being human, um, you try to treat him like he's your child, whatever.
Mm.
It draws him in, he pulls away, and now you're like, oh, what's wrong with him? Um, and the reality is, men suffer in silence. One of the
Oh,
other things that men endure, they endure trauma.
yes, ma'am.
Men have childhood trauma, they have adult trauma, and if they're not permitted to heal from those traumas, that stuff is just sitting on them. And I tell people, when you look at a natural human being, male or female, especially if trauma start happening to you at a young age,
Mhm.
it starts stacking up, right,
It does.
from the bottom, and it just
Right.
keeps building up
And it
until
was
you get
never healed, so it keeps
right.
they
It
don't do
just
nothing
keeps
but stack
stacking
up.
up as
No,
you going
no,
through life. It
nothing
just
goes
stacking up
away.
until you blow up, right, and just lose it because you can't
Mm,
take it anymore. And the
right,
reality is, everybody reacts different to how they're going to blow up. it's,
right,
it's it's different ways. And so that's why I tell people, you have to be mindful of how long has this pain been getting suppressed,
right.
right? One thing after another, one life event after another, that you're not dealing with. And
That's
guess
so
what?
so strong.
Life is going to keep happening.
Right.
So you never know when your next a traumatic experience is going to transpire. And
Mm,
so if you already carrying a weight a heavy weight emotionally, and then something else comes along, you're just not gonna be able to take it.
Right. And how that reaction comes. And so people probably sometimes see the snap
Right.
and don't realize the, like you said, the
The build
level,
up.
the
Right.
buildup that was there. And yes, we are, and I think that that's why it the Bible says, "Be angry, but sin not." Right? It's a
Mhm.
natural reaction to have some
Right.
emotion, but we do as men need to have the discipline of it. But at the same time, we have to look. It's almost like, hey, let's just keep it real. We've seen people, or we've known of people that might be on the block slanging
Right.
the wrong thing, right? And we could be like, "Oh, that's wrong. You're hurting society, all this and that." But he's buying milk because he can't do this because of the systemic pieces that exist here,
Right.
and because he has people in his ear telling him that he needs to be a man, and a
Mhm.
man who's not working, and so we have, especially as, oh, I should have got him just then. um I'm gonna get that thing, sorry. Again, I'm not giving any past judgment to some bad moves that that we might make to try to create something positive from generating revenue, right? But sometimes that level, that pressure, and I'm going to go all the way here, as a black man, we know that we are sitting at the bottom. We're at the bottom. Like, women are not black women are ahead of us. Let's be
Right.
very clear.
Right.
Okay, so not only are we told and shown on a daily basis, it's like it's literally a part of us, is trauma that we go out with every day. Now, black
Right.
women, it's not like you don't go out with a piece of it, but we're going out with just this piece that you have to, we the acknowledgement of our where we are at the bottom. And so, the one of the few people on this planet that can understand where we are is you, our queens or whatever. And there is a deeper and a bigger digression from attaching and understanding our emotions, simply because maybe that you have your own agenda, miss, right? And so, and the teachings, just like you were taught, you're the prize.
Right. Right.
We were taught that we weren't the prize, and then we're shown we're not the prize.
Right.
And then we get with you, and you're like, remember, I'm the prize, come on over here. And we're like, but can
Right.
I get a half a prize? Can somebody give me a half of touching into my emotions? And I don't even know what these emotions are anyway. You see what I'm saying? So I think it's a complete reconditioning, and I really appreciate what you do out here of educating, I mean, us as men, and just letting us even know that, okay, it's okay that you're feeling what you're feeling.
Right. Right.
And while simultaneously, I'm just gonna tell you, I'm riding shotgun with you, because I'm out here telling these ladies, like, listen, how y'all doing this is not gonna work. And
Right.
that's why
Right.
some of them love me and some of them don't, because I'm just like, you can't do that. Go ahead and be great, but
Yeah.
whatever makes you great at that conference table, it is not going to work at your kitchen table. Meaning
Right.
that inside of your home, how you conduct yourself, you could be as smart as a whip out there, but in here, it's a different type of person that
Right.
we require.
Hmm.
And if you do it right, holy cow, the levels that you can go to. Because if I know that, just like you said, your friend, how his wife speaks over him, let me tell you how that man goes hard every day for her. He
Yes.
will run through. That's how you get a man to. You can get a man
Yes.
to run through brick walls, not with your vagina,
Right.
with your words.
Right.
Your words will get him to run through a brick wall for you. Your
Yeah.
vagina is like temporary, right? Now,
Mhm.
it's necessary. Keep it in the game. Now, it's kind of like, you got to put gas and oil in a car, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So the I'd say the oil is your words. The sex is the gas, right?
Yes.
Because it's kind of, I think that's pretty good. I got to write that down, right? Because it's
The
because
oil.
the oil, that when we leave your presence, you're
Yes.
still lubricating our mind. Oh, this is
Don't
good.
do it. Don't
Lubricating
do
our
it.
minds with the words that you spoke, right? Or the
Right.
actions that you took towards our emotions. We're still thinking about that while we're gonna go on stage, or while we're gonna go, fight this fire, or operate on this brain, or take this case, or mow this lawn, whatever. The
Mhm.
lubrication is still going, right? And then the gas to actually do it is where it's kind of like, ooh, give me my little jolt for the morning or afternoon. I love you. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna go do my thing. And I think that, there's more that can be done together, and recognizing, and some people recognizing that you have power. That's
Mhm.
so great. And I think Eve taught all of you off the rip that you don't have to you suggestion. You don't even have to make a
Yes,
man do nothing. Suggest something. She didn't
yes,
tell him to eat the apple. She
yes,
suggested it.
yes,
And because we're like, oh, I love her. Maybe
right.
did she just punk me and tell me that I don't get to eat the apple? We're at the basic. There's
Right,
no internets. There's no news. We're at the basic time, and she executed in a manner that showed power of suggestion. Boom.
right.
And we will go do the wrong things. So what if you use those words to push us to
To
come
do
on,
the right
class,
thing.
to do the
Yes.
right thing,
Mhm.
and it's necessary.
Right.
And so I'm sorry. I just
No, I mean, I think it's important, whether your man's love language is affirmations or not, they still need it.
right,
It's no different than our need for it, right? That's not my primary love language, but I still like to be affirmed.
right, right.
You don't have to do it all the time.
I don't know a woman that doesn't like compliments or
Right.
being
But,
affirmed. We can won't even say compliments. We'll just say affirmations. I don't know
affirmation.
one that doesn't like it.
Yeah, I mean, so the reality is we have to stop even sometimes limiting ourselves to thinking it's only for that we'll do this, right? No,
Mm,
it's I'm with my mate, I care about them. They have emotional needs like me, and if I want them to meet my needs,
come
right?
on,
Because that's cultivating an intimate relationship.
come on.
Intimacy into me, you see.
Ah, you
So
better get off. You better get off. You better get off. So I haven't heard anybody. I've only heard two other people say that,
yes,
right? And
it's
so,
into me. So it has to be an exchange.
mhm,
That's how you cultivate your relationship. That's how you grow and mature in your relationship. That's how you know that you guys can ride with each other through the waves of life
mhm,
with each other because you're connected so well mentally and emotionally and hopefully spiritually that nothing that comes your way, nothing that you guys face or endure is going to shake the
mm,
foundation of your marriage
mm.
or relationship.
Qiana, we gotta have you back. I gotta,
I love to talk about this
you know what
stuff.
I'm saying? And here's the thing: the into me you see. There's a couple of people that when they hear that, I'm like, oh my God, Elam, that's what you say because I that's a whole course.
Okay.
That's a whole module inside of my pre-marriage course.
Okay.
Intimacy, into me you see,
Right.
and I kind of break
Right.
down those five different levels of intimacy, and
Mhm.
that you have to see into them, and they
Right.
have to see into you. And then watch this: you have to be willing to be seen into, and
Right.
they have to be willing to be. So it's not just okay, what you got over there or whatever. Okay, you have to be willing to
And
open
to
up
open
to
up.
this person and allow them to see into you, your nakedness in here,
And,
right?
and and that's something that I always encourage men and women to be cautious with, right? Tap into your discernment.
Mm,
Just because you're attracted to somebody, you guys have a good time, it doesn't mean that everybody is supposed to have that access to that intimate space of you. So if
mhm.
you don't feel like you really want to open up, don't talk about marriage.
Right. That's word.
Don't even go there
Right.
because
That's word.
marriage is not going to fix it. That piece of paper is not going to create
It
this
pours
button.
gas. I tell people
Yeah,
that all the time. Marriage pours gas on whatever exists.
right. Exactly. So it's not gonna all of a sudden now we can be intimate and vulnerable and transparent with each other
Nope.
after the wedding vows.
Nope.
No, you have to know that this is somebody you can be this in this space with
Agreed.
safely, consistently throughout the dating and courtship process.
For forever. You're signing up for forever, for real, and being that person. And I think that that's so important. And gosh, I'm gonna have to bring you back on that. I definitely think that this was some great information. If you had to give just one recommendation to men and one recommendation to women regarding this space of men healing, what would that be?
So I do want to encourage men to be more open to healing by way of therapy, life coaching. We all pursue the life coaching thing, but you really want to be with someone that is going to not just be accountable for your life goals, but actually accountable for your mental emotional well-being. How do you address things that had transpired in your childhood, how you were raised, the
Mm,
culture of your homes, right?
mm.
How that now impacts you as a man and
Okay.
your perceptions and how you believe your belief systems in relationships and other areas of your life.
Right.
So take that time to heal. It's okay.
Mm,
With the right therapist, you can be safe. You can be in a setting where you're not judged. It's confidential. So, and if you're dealing with somebody that you don't or is not presenting those professional attributes, that's not your person to talk to, right?
right. Right.
And for women, it's encouraging you to become more catering to a man's needs. Again, it's
Ooh,
not
don't use. Oh no. Oh no, you won't. You won't use no word like catering. You just got cussed out. Don't you do that. No, you got to use a more modern word because you can't
okay.
use word like catering and submission and stuff like that. Don't you
Uh,
do that? You just
okay.
you
So,
shut down half the audience when you did
ladies,
that. They ain't
okay.
even they not ready for that.
All right. So, ladies, just open yourselves up to developing and cultivating that emotional safe space between you and your mate or your son or for your sons, your brothers, your uncles. Just encouraging men to heal, encouraging men to feel their emotions and not being critical or degrading or judgmental or condemning for
Mm,
them being human.
mm. Come on, human. Oh, Kiana, how can people follow you if they want to link up with you? Acquire your services, and if you could let people know about the book that you have, and then any upcoming, big things, great things, small things, medium sized things, what you got going on? How can we follow you and get at you?
Okay. So my book, Help Me, I'm Hurting, is
Oh, okay.
available.
Oh, okay. Product placement. Uh, that was smooth. I subliminally this whole time, y'all have been getting.
Help Me, I'm Hurting. This is
Yeah,
a book.
I like that.
Now, this is a book for men and women, and even for some teen groups. Like it's a guide for the healing journey,
Mm,
right? It
I
has
like that.
interactive worksheets in there for you to jot down notes based off of the things that I'm teaching you. Like, what are the steps of healing, and the importance and benefits of healing, and also I'm on Instagram, empowered to heal underscore LLC. My website is empowered to heal.info, and you can book me for speaking engagements, my therapy sessions.
Want to make
Everything
sure
is
I
on my
spelled this right.
website.
Did I spell that
Yes.
right? That's what it
So
is.
empowered to heal underscore LLC.
Underscore. Okay, hold on. I got it all messed up. Don't y'all follow that yet, y'all. Hold on.
Underscore LLC. And then I
Underscore
did.
LLC. Okay.
Yes. And then I just launched, or for Kings only, membership program for Kings to start meeting on a monthly basis. But then they're also going to receive individual sessions with me as well during the course of that month for just a one time set monthly fee. So, which is actually way cheaper than my standard
Right. Right.
therapy prices. So you're really actually getting a really good deal because the focus is to again cultivate the community of men who really are tapped into the importance of mental health awareness, and encouraging people to tear down the stigmas about mental health in general, especially in the African American community.
Oh, yeah, Keon. I want to unpack, and I want to unpack the fact that I was joking, but I was serious when I said that when you start saying things like cater to whatever, it's almost like you got to talk to two different class of women. You got to
Yeah.
talk to some, you got to talk to the It's like you got to talk. We still got some back in the day ones that can understand it a little bit,
Yes.
and then we got this new school.
And you know what? I want
That
to
new
teach.
school,
I
boy.
want to teach about submission, because
Ooh, oh
I'm
no, no, no! You're
working
gonna make
with
all my
no,
all
because
my
I'm working.
followers. There's a lot of followers that just left. They just hit
Well, I'm
in.
working with women who actually are asking on how do I do that, but I keep trying
Mm.
to tell women it's not permission for you to be someone's doormat,
Right. Absolutely.
which is the misconception of that word, right?
D-
So it's helping women understand how do you actually submit to a man? But I'm not gonna get into
Ooh.
that. I'm not gonna do
Okay,
that. I'm not gonna
our
do it.
part two,
I'm not gonna
we
do that.
listen. We're
Do a
gonna have
part
to
two.
bring you back for that right there. That's what I said. Listen,
Yes.
our stuff is actually organic. We don't even have anything set up.
Like this wasn't even planned,
I
ladies.
be trying to type stuff, and I be like, okay, we going. That right there is our next question. How do say that again? Because I wanted to come from the lips of a
How
woman.
do you submit to a man?
Oh God. What we're about to do is we're about to hit stop, and then we're gonna have this conversation right now because I don't want to wait. And then we're just gonna record. We're gonna pre-record it and then send it another time. Okay? Because that
Okay.
right there, that's a whole topic. How do I
Yeah.
do it? I think there's some people just like the love languages. They know of them, but they don't know how to execute on them.
Right.
And that's
Exactly.
something I always do in my practice or whatever. So, thank you so
You're
much for
welcome.
just
Thank you for
joining
having me.
us this evening.
Yeah.
You guys get at her, empowered to heal
Yes.
underscore LLC. And the book that was just sitting right there in the background, that was sexy. I like that. Cool, cool. I didn't even see. I peeped it like right. Like, oh, okay. Um, and of course, this is the Understanding a Man podcast. Thank you guys so much for joining. Of course, you can find us on. This is going to be available on YouTube and Anchor and all podcast platforms. Thank you for all those that could continue to, just pour into and send us topics as well. We
Yes.
like that too. So, but we gonna talk about how, ladies. That's gonna be
How?
on the next
How?
episode. All right,
But men need
with
to
Miss
listen
Kiana.
to this because this
Oh
is
no,
important for men to
absolutely.
hear. Because the reality is, it's actually a teaching for men as well in order
Hmm.
to be in a position to
Come on, position.
be
That's how
submitted.
you get in the right position of submission.
Yeah,
Oh, that's the topic of the next show.
the
Position
position of
of
submission.
submission. Oh, I love it. What? Talk to you guys soon. Of course, you can follow me at Elam B King on all platforms, and of course, of those of you who do or don't know, of course, we recently released our newest book, Understanding a Man: Memoirs from a Father to His Son. We are already attacking into um, some of the issues that will prevent some of the things that we
Yes.
have of this conversation this evening. So you can go to elambking.com to get your copy. They will be hitting the shelves in about 2 weeks. So I'm super excited. So thank you so much to all those who have already pre purchased a copy. And we will talk to you soon. Take care.
Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much.
Kiara.
You're welcome. Thank you.